So a few weeks ago, I did a video on reading the Bible and figuring out a Bible plan. And since it's been a few weeks, and let's be honest, it's super easy to decide you're going to start reading the Bible, but a whole freaking lot harder to actually keep up with it week after week. So I thought I would follow it up with a video on 7 tips for reading and studying the Bible and staying on track because, well, despite often not wanting to admit it, reading the Bible can be extremely hard and confusing. All right, so disclaimer time. I have only recently gotten really good about reading my Bible, as in like more than just sporadically, like twice a month, if I'm rocking it that month. And I tell you this because I've done a good amount of research recently on Bible reading and tips and tactics, and some of them are pretty in-depth and can get extremely confusing. So this video is really meant for more of the beginners, if you will, those who are struggling to actually get better at digging in deep with the Bible and improving on a more consistent plan. You might be way further along and more experienced with the Bible studies and readings than I am, and so this video might not be for you, but I wanted to create a video on some basics and some things that I've recently got through to just help you not be overwhelmed with all these massive plans and Bible notes and color codings and references and all that stuff, and just get into actually reading the Bible and studying His Word. So as we get into it, I want to use an analogy right up front, and that is reading the Bible, it's kind of like going to the gym, right? Like at first you're super pumped, you get like the new workout shorts or pants or whatever, and you get super pumped and you're gonna go to the gym and you do it that first day and you feel good about yourself, and then like a week or two goes by and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to the gym today. I'm not doing it. It's way too much time. It's way too much work, right? So then you start to like trickle off, okay? But what you learn if you stick with it is that in the long run, you make massive gains, right? You improve your health, you get in better shape, and you feel good about yourself overall. Your mental capacity increases and just you rocket it, right? But you got to be consistent. And the Bible, I think, is kind of like that. At first, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get into it. And you get into it, and like 3 days in, you're like, oh my gosh, what does this even mean? Like, have you ever actually read Genesis? Like, have you ever actually read Genesis? It's like, what is happening? But if you're consistent and you stick with some basic principles and tips and you power through those times where you don't want to do it, like in the long run, it is going to improve you as a person in your life just dramatically. So I just wanted to use that analogy. All right, so tip number 1, and I've kind of already alluded to this, but that's have a Bible plan. Don't just open up the Bible and start reading Genesis 1:1, right? Don't do that. Remember how I started out by talking about how confusing the Bible was? The good old days. Despite often not wanting to admit it, reading the Bible can be extremely hard and confusing. Having a plan can dramatically help you not only feel less overwhelmed about what you're reading through, but just also provide you with a plan to better understand the reading material. And there's tons of plans out there, so you're like, I don't know where to begin for that, or I don't even know how to tackle that. What I recommend is you get a free Bible app. This is just my personal recommendation. It's called Olive Tree. You can download it for free. They have paid stuff on there, but you can get a lot from them just for free without spending any money. And you can look at their plans. They have tons of plans, tons of free plans. You don't have to pay any money for them, and just find one that fits you. And really, when you go to find one that really isn't overwhelming. And again, remember, we were talking like, we're just going to get into it. You're super excited day one. I'm going to read the whole Bible right now. Don't do that. Like, take time to really consider how much time you actually have to commit to reading the Bible a day. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't commit a good amount, but just when you're starting off, right? Like, you just want to make sure you're reading it every day. So if you need to pick a plan that maybe only takes 10 minutes of reading a day, that's a great start. That's 10 minutes more than you read yesterday. So again, Olive Tree, check it out. If you don't want to do that, just go online and Google Bible plans. You can even Google Bible plans for beginners, Bible plans for married couples, Bible plans for teens. Like, there's all sorts of great options out there. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 goes into what I just said. Don't shoot for the stars. All right, make a plan, but don't pick a ridiculous plan that will be extremely hard to follow. To give you an example of this, my current plan, this discipleship plan that I'm on, I think I'm pushing it. Like, I wanted to be ambitious because I want to cover a lot of the Bible this year, but I'm definitely pushing the amount that I should be reading and studying in a day. And it's not that the reading itself is overwhelming. It's because right now I want to get into the reading, but I also want to look at some of the study Bible aspects and take some time to kind of pull things apart and really get into some specific verses, right? So again, figure out kind of like if that's what you want to do, or maybe if you're just like, I don't really know the Bible at all, so I just really want to read it. I just want to read it. I don't want to worry about anything else. There's plans for that, right? But if you're like, I just want to pick a couple verses a day and I want to pick them apart, I want to know everything about those verses, or at least a lot, then maybe that's the plan for you. So you kind of want to ask yourself what you want and then come up with that plan. All right, tip number 3. Hold on one second. Oh man, that just hits me right. That just hits me right. Tip number 3, find an accountability partner. I know that can sound super cheesy and super basic, but I highly encourage you to find accountability partner. You could easily find them online through like Facebook Christian chat groups or at your church, whatever you want. There's some options out there. So if you can find that person, I really do think that things like that help. Kind of like the gym analogy, having a trainer, right? Or having someone that meets you at the gym, or having someone that you tell what you did that day at the gym. Just that accountability, it really does go a long way, despite how cheesy and dumb it can often sound. Tip number 4, same place, same time. If you have any sort of consistent schedule and you are able to pick the same place and the same time every day, that is huge. I mean, like that might be the most important of them all, okay? If you can say at X time, I'm sitting down for 20 minutes and I'm reading my Bible and I'm gonna do my Bible plan every day in the same place, I mean, that is huge. So if there's one of these tips you take away, if there's just one tip, I recommend same place, same time, even if it's in your car. Maybe it's in your car on a lunch break. Maybe it's right away when you get up in the morning or right before you go to bed. Whatever it is, this is huge. For example, I'll vary mine, but it'll still be consistent. That makes no sense at all. So what I mean is during the week, if I'm working or if it's a work day for me, I will normally arrive to work early and I will read my Bible there because I'm the only one there. It's quiet. I'm alone. It's a great time to do that most of the time. Every now and then again, it comes and bites me in the butt, but most of the time that works great. And on the weekends or on just days that I have off, I will normally get up, go to the gym, and then I will come back from the gym and use that time in the morning to just do my Bible reading, do some praying, reflecting, all that kind of stuff. What I have definitely found, at least for me, as I've been trying to get better at this, is I cannot do it around others. I'm like squirrel and I'm gone, or someone like 20 feet away can be having a conversation, but somehow I'm listening to that while reading words, but I don't actually know what I'm reading. I just know that I read it. So I know that for me, that doesn't work. So if I have to do it when there's other people in the room, I'll put in headphones and turn on just some quiet music or whatever, just to drown out the background noise, because I just cannot give the proper focus while there's stuff going on around me. Wrong tube. Wrong tube. Tip number 5, take notes. Like, just take notes. And you might be like, what do I take notes on? Whatever comes to your mind, just take notes. It could be on like, this verse is weird. This verse doesn't make any sense. This verse really hit me close to home. Whatever it might be, just take notes. If you're just beginning, don't worry about like, I need to do the notes and the colors and make everything match and it's got to align and this has to correlate to this Bible over here. Just start by taking some notes on the phone, on the computer, on a notepad, whatever you got. Again, for me right now, what I'm actually doing is I'm taking notes in Olive Tree. So the Bible software that I referenced earlier, you could just like click a verse or highlight an area, take a note and put in all your thoughts and do whatever you want, and it will save it in that spot. And then you can reference it there in the Bible, or you can go to your notes section and reference it there as well. And I do that. Sometimes I'll just talk through things by typing them. So I'll be like, this is really weird. What does this mean? Blah, 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 blah. And I'll just go on. Or I might just flag it and be like, what does that mean? And then I'll tag it as a question so that I can come back to it and really just try and figure out what's going on there. Tip number 6, take time to pray during your Bible reading. You don't know what to pray about? That's okay. Just sit in silence and think about God and think about your Bible reading. Or better yet, just tell God what you're grateful for and ask for him to make the text that you're about to read or have read clear to you. Because if it's one thing that I have learned as I've really been digging into my Bible lately, is it is anything but clear a lot of the time. So just take that time. It could be before, maybe it's while you're reading and something really hit you and you want to pray about that, or after. And I know you're like, how does that really help me? I don't know how to, like, I'm probably not the best to explain that at my current level of journey right now, but it just It just does. So take some time to really not just like done, but take some time to really dig into the reading and take a few minutes to pray about it. All right, last tip. Tip number 7, last tip, and I already alluded to this once. Don't start at the beginning. Like, I'm serious. If you are new to reading the Bible, do not start at the beginning. My old pastor used to say, when you read the Bible, start with the New Testament. And being that I wasn't really reading my Bible much at the time, I didn't really think much of it. Now I get why. All right, just do not start at the beginning. My current Bible plan has me like in different areas of the Bible every day. It's like 4 different areas. One of those areas that it hits on every day is Genesis. And I'm like, what? Like, if you ever actually dug into Genesis, like there's a whole lot going on. And like, I don't understand a lot of it, to be totally honest with you. But you know, it's small steps, right? We'll get there. But don't open the Bible and just start reading Genesis. So don't start at the beginning. If you're not going to follow a Bible plan, you don't want to do any of that, I encourage you to at least start at the New Testament. So that's all I got. I hope that was helpful. If you have some tips that we didn't mention, leave a comment down below. Click this link up here to see our latest video, and this one right over here just to learn a little bit more on what this channel is actually about. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in the next video. Tip number 5. Are we on 5? I think we're on 5. 5, 6, 7. I don't know, that sounded really bad.